me on Tales of Function, Season 2. Janus. Tonight, Artemis. Earth year, 78,050 BCE. Milky Way galaxy. Solar system. Planet Earth. Antarctica. Outside in the snow, he watches from near the entrance door to this subterranean hangar. He likes this planet. Not sure why, but he does. Actually, now that he thinks about it, he loves this planet. A new blizzard, fresh off the one yesterday, is blowing in again, and the small shuttlecraft lands through the dense snow. The lights from around the ship are blurred and muted by the intense, driving blizzard as Odin shields his eyes and pulls his hood tighter around his head. The doors of the hangar floor open upwards, and the many feet of snow slide off in both directions as the shuttle slides below ground. The doors, now free of snow, gently close behind it. Odin turns back to the hangar door and also quietly slips in and below ground. He pulls off his parka and moves into the lab. Within moments, the precious cargo has been unloaded from the shuttle and moved into the lab, where Odin and Navaras, the wizard, await. Navaras smiles as she works, attaching wires and diodes and tuning equipment for the transfer. She looks up as Odin frowns. Navaras, the wizard, laughs out loud. "Oh, Father, you always seem so sad when you give me a gift. Why is that?" Odin turns and faces the wise human he has chosen. He places his hand on her shoulder and says, "That is because, my old friend, I know someday you'll have to use it. Come now. What are we to call her then?" Navaras furrows her brow and, thinking for a moment, says, "Artemis." They watch as the green light indicating success blinks on the readouts indicating all systems normal. You open your eyes and you see an old man and a young woman staring at you, and then Odin reaches down and places a hand over your face. He closes his eyes and says aloud to Navaras, "I will return with Artemis in moments. Do not be afraid, and do not disturb us." Hello everybody, I'm Nate. With me is a super special guest. Megan is here with us, all the way from Muskegon. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
So far. Was the drive good? The drive was good?
The drive was good. Traffic wasn't too bad.
Smooth sailing.
The entire car ride, I was listening to the Epic soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
And it was very delightful.
That's awesome. That makes me happy.
I was like, okay, I'm playing a Greek
themed thing, yeah.
Greek-themed goddess.
Yeah.
Put on the Epic soundtrack.
Let's have it.
And let's go.
Give me a bow. Put a bow in my hand. Let's get going. Outside of time, creator time. No time. However you want to think about it. You're sitting comfortably in a black chair in an all-black room. All around are what seem like very high-tech instruments and tools and, well, pieces and parts of what look like bodies, legs, arms, etc. You're not afraid or upset, and across from you sits an old man with a white beard and short white hair. Hello, Artemis.
Hello.
I'm Odin. I'm your father, in a manner of speaking, but not really. He pauses and smiles gently at you, almost expectantly. What do you do? This is how we kind of do it.
You're my father, but not really?
No, not really. I don't even know why I keep saying that. Here's the deal. A lot's going to be made clear to you, and I know things are confusing right now, but I'm not super important. Someone else wants to meet you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I want you to imagine anywhere that you can that you would like to go and tell me all about it.
First thing that comes to mind is a very wooded forest. Some pine trees here and there, but mostly like the big redwood trees. On the ground are they're brown, but they're dead needles from the trees and dead leaves, but there's some green still from the bushes and from smaller vegetation.
Okay. Is it bright? Is it dark?
I would say the sun had just come up.
Dappled. Change it to something like that. A little more dappling. All right. And as you move through this forest, you are drawn to a very worn path. It seems to lead into the forest, and you're not sure where it goes. What would you like to do? Odin at this point is at your elbow, and he's just like constantly he's kind of not, it's not like he won't talk to you. He just isn't, he's letting you drive this boat.
Okay. Go down the path.
Okay. You step onto the path, and can I have a perception check then, please?
Yes. That is a 22.
Along this path, as you move through it, you see the kind of standard things you'd see in an old redwood forest, like giant, towering, spiring trees and, woodland creatures. And Odin is very calm and peaceful and smiling. And as you move through, the wind and sounds of the forest seem to be slowly being replaced by an intruding, metallic hum. And Odin is even like looking about, trying to find out what this sound is. Using your Dungeons and Dragons prowess, what would you like to do? Character sheet, typically.
Can I pinpoint the exact direction that it's coming from?
Investigate that, would you?
Sure can. Oh, that was bad. That was a 7. That was
no,
bad.
The answer to your question is no, you cannot pinpoint where it's coming from, no.
Yeah, that was a horrible roll.
It's all right. That happens.
Honestly, I think for now, I might just keep walking. But I'm very attentive still as to the surrounding area.
Okay. As you move, the hum kind of takes over everything. It doesn't seem to be coming from anywhere and everywhere. And you notice the path split.
Sorry, I had to take a drink real quick.
You notice the path split left and right. To the right, you see it leads off into a bright light, and the other one leads off further down into the forest.
I guess kind of keep going in the forest for now.
Okay. So you turn to the right and head deeper into the forest. And after not too long, the hum is kind of everywhere, omnipresent everywhere. Mm-hmm. And then within, 10 minutes, it seems like you are back at that Y again.
Okay. Guess I'll head to the left then.
Artemis, you move down this path and the hum begins to diminish and fade, and the light begins to grow until it warms you completely, and you step bravely into the light and love of the Creator who accepts you immediately. The light continues to grow and grow until you have to shut your eyes and you hear a voice say to you, "Keep testing paths. Good choices." And when you open your eyes again, you're staring up at the old man and the young woman. The old man is fading slowly into nothingness. And you hear him say, "Get her up and running, Navarus." To you, he turns and says, "Love these humans, Artemis. Learn from them and teach them. We will meet again very soon. There's work to be done." Earth Year 0, Common Era. A distant universe, a distant galaxy, a distant system. Planet Niobe. The engine started 4,000 years ago. The cycle has almost come to an end, but has yet to be decided. Shiva's forces have gathered and now face Loki's army of Jackalite warriors on the Giza Plateau on Earth, in the Sol System. It's the exact same location as the final battle of the previous cycle, which is strange, considering all the places in the universe that the final battle could have occurred. But Loki sure does love his dramatic flair, without question. You're here in the highly overpopulated galaxy of Barathoma, in command of a not-so-impressive fleet. A whole 3 ships. You've been sent here to destroy one of Shiva's escape routes, an inter-universal transporter from her location to here and located on the planet below. It is, of course, heavily defended. You gather your forces and make a descent into the atmosphere. To begin your bombing run, can you roll 2d20, please?
Yes. That is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
As you begin this descent, you, while staying fully able to move about your bridge, right? You're just moving about your ship at this point. You look out your viewing panel and watch the other 2 vessels that you brought with you, the other 3 vessels you brought here with you, kind of split off into, and what was the number?
20.
You watch these 3 ships split into 20 small little fragments, and then all kind of begin to act independently on their own. And as you descend, so now you have 20 plus yourself, so 21. 21 ships kind of descend into this planet's surface and begin the bombing run. Can you make a dexterity check for yourself as flak begins to kind of explode all around your vessel? I'm gonna pull this back a little.
A dex save?
Mm-hmm.
It's not great. It's 15.
You are rattled pretty good by this flak that kind of explodes near your ship, not on you, but near. Mm-hmm. Can you roll a luck check?
A 4.
So it explodes right near your vessel. I need you to roll a d20 of damage, though, as you're
okay.
You are kind of you take kind of very surface damage as you're flung to the ground in the bridge of your ship.
I rolled a 10 for damage.
Okay, take that damage, y'all. Which is just you put it in the box and you hit damage.
Oh, okay.
Take it. Awesome. And then I need you to make a dexterity check for your fleet.
Okay. That is a 25.
Your fleet, skilled as they are, were able to dodge the flak after seeing you take the initial brunt of it. So they didn't experience any damage. And as you crest through the clouds and you see your target come into play, can you move to that one screen just so you get a visual of what you're attacking?
Sure.
Yeah, and this shorter one, as you cruise through, as you and your fleet make their way through, kind of now programmed to dodge the flak, you notice this small one is actually the main target. The center one obviously is the main target. But as you do your final kind of, actually, why don't you do a investigation check?
Hopefully this one is better than the last one. It is not.
It's not.
It's a 7.
All right, and do one for your team.
They did slightly better. 17.
Okay. Okay. Thanks to your fleet, you are not surprised as several fighter craft launch into the air from these smaller kind of large towers that you see around the center one. And they race out to attack you. Let's have an initiative roll. We're only going to do 4 here.
Okay. That is horrible.
I rolled pretty bad as well.
I had a 7.
I had 2 6s.
Oof. And then for my... Do I roll for the...
Yeah, for the team.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Hey, they did better. 18.
Okay, so they flank out and spread out everywhere, and using your stats, you may attack for them. And we're gonna assume that there's a leader that is attacking, that is engaged with you, and the rest of the fleet is engaged with each other. We'll think of them in terms of one being.
Okay.
Take it with
Yeah.
17.
Oh gosh.
Right? Isn't that how many you said? There was. Oh no, you didn't take any damage. There was 20 of them.
Yeah, there's 20 of them.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I got them. Don't worry about it. I got it. Okay, so it's their turn.
Okay.
They can attack the guy that's attacking you. So let me describe that. So very clearly then, as you're lining up for your bombing run, you see these fighters take off. You kind of suspected it or expected it, and your fleet kind of flanks out and spins around to kind of engage these fighters. And then you see a larger craft kind of take off right at you. Your fleet has an opportunity to react. Do they want to take the rest of the fleet on or come help you?
I'll have them focus mostly on oh gosh, the
one that's coming for
The
you or the
fleet.
rest of the fleet? Okay, cool. So the rest of the fighters. Okay, so they're attacking the rest of the fighters. Let's have it.
let's see. We'll do the antimatter missile.
Hit it. So you just hit that square that says hit DC?
That is a dirty 28.
That's very good. Now hit the damage.
That is 73.
Your fighters, within moments, kind of obliterate this fleet, except for a few pesky ones that kind of keeping them busy. I'd put that down to like 2 at this point.
Okay.
And then it is your turn to attack whatever you want to do.
I'll focus on the bigger ship.
Okay.
And I'll probably let's do the plasma cannons.
Okay.
That kind of sucked. That was a 17.
Okay. That misses the big ship,
Okay.
who swoops underneath you and attacks using his lasers for a 19.
Okay.
Does that hit?
Yes.
And then causes 31 damage.
All right.
And then my last 2 fighters, the last 2 fighters from the ground are thinking about running, but they decide one turns and kind of valiantly gives his life for the other fighter that's running away and attacks you in kind of a last-ditch effort for a 17 and misses, I assume then.
Is it meets it, beats it?
meets it, beats it.
Yeah, meets it, beats it.
So, okay. So they cause, he's able to inflict 29. He essentially demolishes half of your fleet.
Okay.
So you have 10 left. And several of the ones that are remaining are very, very damaged.
Okay.
And it is now your fleet's turn, those damaged fighters.
So there was 10, right?
Yes.
Kinda,
And a mission to accomplish as well. Yeah.
Kinda had the thought of half of them focusing on the one that's attacking them, and then half of them taking off to focus on the other one.
Okay. Oh, so chasing around. Okay. All right. Let's have 2 quick attacks then out of you.
All right. I think we'll do the antimatter missile again. Ooh. 13 for one of them, and then roll again.
Yep. And that misses.
And then a 25.
So the one that's running away is just antimattered.
Okay.
He's completely annihilated and destroyed. There's only one of the little guys left. And it is now your turn.
Okay.
Artemis's turn.
I'm gonna stay focused on the bigger ship.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit him with a antimatter missile.
All right.
Gravy. 14.
It misses.
Is not a great roll.
And he spins again. He has a 13, which probably misses.
Yeah.
And the remaining fighter spins away from the fleet that is attacking him and turns and attacks you, Artemis, for a 15.
Nope.
It's a feeble attack, so he using his last bonus attack, he spins up at you, using his second attack, which he has reserved. He spins up at you and tries to just ram into you. Can you make a dexterity saving throw?
Yeah. 19.
You spin out of the way at the last minute, but your wing clips him.
Okay.
He's destroyed, and he spins off into, unfortunately, can I have a luck check?
Let's see.
We'll see. We'll let luck decide.
Oh, I accidentally forgot to clear the D20.
No worries. Clear that.
Ooh, that's a 1.
A 1?
A 1.
That's not good. So as your wing clips this last kind of attacker, he spins off and explodes as the incoming fighters from your force arrive and are largely decimated. The ones that remain are kind of limping kind of near you and form sort of a defensive posture. We'll call it 2 of them.
Okay.
And you are left with just it is their turn, but they are basically incapacitated.
Okay.
So it is your turn now.
Okay.
And as you go to attack, you see the other fighter kind of the big fighter peel away now, and he's running. So you can have 2 attacks here. An opportunity attack from him running.
Yeah, I'll do both of those. So 2 rolls for 1.
So it's basically, I'm turning and running.
Okay.
And because of that, D&D rules say, or at least 5e rules say, you get an opportunity attack.
Okay.
So you'd get that attack, and then it would be your turn as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do the, for the opportunity 22.
Yes.
For 68.
You see large pieces of the ship kind of peel off that you're actually your shields kind of bounce behind you. And it peels off into the clouds, so you can give chase to it. Oh, it is your turn. And it has run. It has suffered its opportunity to attack, though. It is running. You can give chase to it, or you can continue on with your bombing run, which is what your mission is. And you have 2 little... At this point, it'd be best to just call them drones, really.
Yeah. I think I'll focus on the mission.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
You slide down into your bombing pattern and you let the computer kind of take over. You open the doors. Can I have just a regular attack? Let's call these bombs your antimatter.
Okay. That is a 29.
Your first bomb that gets away is a direct hit on the structure that's in the center of the station, and you see kind of a chain reaction of explosions start, and then a shimmering kind of shield comes down over it, flickers for a second, and then with that 29 it kind of disappears, and you see a kind of a cascading series of explosions that continue. You look to see the drones have kind of seem to be limping back into an escape posture, and as you turn after your run, you're startled to find that fighter waiting right for you. Can you make a dexterity saving throw?
Yes.
It's going to be a high one.
A 28.
It's pretty high. It is high enough. You spin out of the way from a direct hit from one of his nuclear weapons. And instead you get kind of a rear blast from his engines trying to get away from him. And that blast of radiation from the ship hits just right. All right. Can you roll 5d20, please?
Okay. That is a 55.
So take 55 damage.
Ugh.
And you are slammed into the kind of floor of the vessel, and then a weird kind of shimmering light kind of sweeps through the vessel, and you can tell you're in the full exposure of the engines of the other vessel, and things kind of go black from you, and the last thing you see is a small little door. It's the last thing you see. As everything's going black, you see a little door.
Okay. I'll try to make a break for it.
Okay, let's have this would be athletics. Yeah. As it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer.
That is a 34.
You easily reach the door and open it, slam it open, as the blackness behind you kind of completely engulfs, and you realize you're back in yourself, but it's not yourself. You look down everywhere, all around. You can see into the ship, out of the ship. You see every camera the ship has. You can tap into it instantaneously just by thinking about it, and you look down in the bridge and see your dead self, largely, or a dying version of yourself. That seems to be kind of melted and torqued and twisted in a way. And you realize that what you've done is you've fused your consciousness with your actual ship. And you are now the Artemis 1.
Nice.
And you realize you're crashing. It's the best thing that has happened, because you didn't know you were in such trouble before. You now know that you are in deep trouble. You're crashing. Can I have a strength check as you defy gravity with thrusters and try to link in and lock into this ship?
That is a 25.
Describe to me, as the ship's about to slam into the ground, describe to me how what Artemis 1.
Because I'm assuming it's kind of like a nosedive.
Sure.
She makes that split-second decision to try and come up, so the nose eventually starts to try and meet the horizon.
Yeah.
And she's trying, putting all the strength that she can into keeping the nose towards the horizon as she's coming down.
And it almost touches the ground, or the what is essentially the base. and you definitely pull kind of up and away, and as you do, that last fighter kind of spinning out of control and out of control of its own is coming right at you. Can you make a dexterity saving throw now? As you're kind of learning the controls and features of what is essentially now yourself.
That is a 26.
And what you love and realize is that everything that you want to do most of the time happens much quicker and much faster. And you easily, kind of almost like you have a premonition about where things are going to be, a spidey sense, if you will. You move out of the way of this incoming fighter as it crashes into the base below you. And you realize that you're going to need to draw all of the power you can muster to get out of the atmosphere. So can you do a Constitution saving throw, please?
That is a 23.
You break atmosphere easy enough. You find your two little drones kind of reformed into a single piece again as you guys make your way into orbit again around the planet. And as you do, you hear a kind of communication come in, and it's Loki telling you that Shiva has been defeated on Earth. And then you hear Hera say that the engine has been reset.
Okay.
Earth year, 3667. The longest year. Mycelia Galaxy. Caledonian System. Planet Fajiri. Your fifth scan around this system looking for traces of the engine is yielding crazy results. Like what?
Oh gosh. I wasn't expecting to
to create
on the spot at that exact moment.
That's cool.
If it's yielding really crazy results, I'm kind of expecting like some energies to be picked up here on one planet, some energies there. Like it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. I guess the best way I can describe it is kind of like the sonar, where when it sends out that signal, it just kind of expands.
Yeah.
And it just kind of does that on a loop.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of think of when I hear crazy results.
Yeah, dig it. Understand. How about a perception check? Let's see what else we can throw in there.
Alrighty. That's not great. It's a 14.
You find it's not great. The scanners don't seem to be this. In fact, that's suspicious all of its own. How about a perception? What you just did? How about a insight check?
Don't roll insight too often.
Into yourself because of who you are, right? Mm-hmm. That function, that sensors wouldn't be functioning the way you want them. Mm-hmm. That ain't right.
That is also not a great roll. That's a 10.
So you're not able to access even the systems that would allow you to kind of see what's going on. So it's kind of frustrating. The last time, another check. Let's have a history check.
History check. What are these rolls? An 11.
Okay, it's good enough to remind yourself the last time this happened was the end of the last cycle, when the engine residue was all over that place you were attacking.
Okay.
And just as you're about to kind of do something with this intel, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as a massive circular fire exploding and crumpling ship jumps into right basically on you.
It's also not a great roll. That's another 11.
Artemis, for the first, how could you know that was going to occur, right? So it's nothing scans could have predicted. It's not something, but you are you need to, by the way, heal
Yes.
before I divvy up this massive chunk.
Oh gosh. Should I just do like a long rest and then have it
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
instead of trying to do the mental math?
Correct. You need to take 10 d20 of damage.
Oh my gosh. 10d20?
Yep.
It is 101.
So take 101 damage, leaving you with, I believe, 49 hit points.
57.
57 hit points. You are wrecked. It is insane. You're in trouble. I need a series of checks. So what happens essentially is this massive circular, quarter-mile wide vessel jumps right on top of you and is being destroyed as it's happening. And as you watch it kind of completely disintegrate, chunks of it just kind of pummel your ship, leaving you in a very bad way. How about you check? You got any spells?
Let's see. I think all the spells that I have are Hunter's Mark.
Okay. You need to let's do a medicine check, see if you can get yourself medicine and arcana.
Okay.
You need to beat 10s on both of them to see if you can get yourself under control.
So medicine is not great. That's a 9 on medicine.
That's a fail, so you're not sure.
And then what was the other one again?
Arcana. So you try to access med. So 1 second before you tell me this one, you try to access the med bay, the med log, to be able to kind of access the systems. What's going on with your systems? To see, you call it med, but it's really just your systems. You're having trouble getting through what would be normally the medical way. So you're going to go backdoor through here for Arcana.
Okay. It is also not a really good roll. That's a 7.
So you're not able to figure this out.
No.
Let's see if you can get control of the vessel at least. See how bad things are potentially going to be. Actually, let's do a perception check.
Okay. Slightly better. 14.
You really notice that in the midst of all this chaos, a life pod has ejected from what is essentially now a destroyed vessel and is racing towards the planet. You have choices here. Do you want to scan that ship with that 18, or what do you want to do here?
I'll scan it.
As you're somersaulting, let me have a dexterity saving throw to see if you can get control of yourself, or a strength, whichever one you want.
Dexterity is a 21.
Okay, you control your vessel pretty easy. You're certainly not sure if you're in deeper trouble, but you seem to have control of your ship. Your 18 scan of that life pod reveals 2 sentient beings aboard, but are non-human.
Okay.
And it is being sucked down to the planet. What do you want to do? But it's tumbling and falling.
It's tumbling.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Yeah, hit your temporary hit points, and let's see what you get there. Oh, you mean use all your limited uses? Yeah, you should definitely. If ever there was a time, so you have. Let's explain that. So I'm sorry. So what Artemis is about to do is use her temporary hit. She has 57 hit points. Not a very good thing. She's trying to, I don't know what, but she's barely has control of her vessel. But what you're trying to do is she has 4 little slots of this temporary hit point things. She was going to roll them up and has. I'll add them up in here if you want.
I was going to say, it's not great. Oh wait. Plus 17 plus 4.
So 21.
It's 21.
So add 21 to your hit points at 57 20. Okay. All right. As you feel these kind of coursing little nanobots race out to do their little fixes across your ship, you see one sensor come online. One of the sentients in the craft is messed up. They're both pretty damaged. And their ship is not going to survive impact. That's the feedback that comes from kind of finishing on that scan. for you that you now have access to, and you realize you're not in any more damage than you already currently are.
Okay.
So now what do you want to do?
I want to reach out to them.
There's no reply. Arcana has been our typical but let's do performance. That's correct though. Let's do performance. You're trying to speak to them.
That is a 19.
It's nothing. You can tell very clearly from the way the feedback comes back. Their back got wrecked in the crash or in the destruction of the main vessel. So they're calmless.
Okay.
And as you watch, you can see it start to heat up as it races into the planet's atmosphere.
Okay. I'm seeing will this work if I grapple them and try and slow it?
You're very far away. You'll have to catch them. Okay, let's have it.
So athletics.
Yours versus me.
That is a 34.
Oh, goodness. Mine is a... Oh, that's a nat 20. So 26? You are...
Yeah, with it being a 34.
I'm going to take my nat 20, though. I think that deserves something. And it races away to you. You realize you're not going to be able to grab it. And as it plummets headlong into the planet, you hear and the communicator kind of flips on and you realize it wasn't quite as damaged as you maybe initially thought. And you realize you have an open line to their vessel.
All right.
Artemis 1 to all life forms aboard the escape pod. Don't worry.